Hello YouTube and welcome to my new challenge. In my previous challenges, I tried painting my way to victory, tested my skills with a chikorita, realized those skills are non-existent, so I repulsed my enemies with an insect, and when all else failed, I even tried luck. But things really failed when I tried with a team of level 30s, so in order to make it easier, I decided to use level 10s instead. I know what you're thinking, did he just die to a Weedle? Rules of the challenge. I will be playing the no XP version of the game in order to keep my Pokemon at level 10 throughout the challenge. Infinite rare candies. I'll be using rare candies to level up my Pokemon. I can have higher level Pokemon, but I can't use them in battle. In my last video, I asked my huge community whether I should stick with a fast-paced commentary, and I got one like. Say no more, I got you friend. To give you an idea, here's the difference in stats between a level 10 Cyndaquil and a level 10 Sudowoodo. Now, some of you might ask, how will you beat the Elite Four? Buddy, I'm just trying to make it to the second gym. Once again, just like in Gen 2, we meet a professor with memory loss, a fatherless 10 years old, a struggling single mom, Pokemon adoption, another fatherless 10 years old, parentless egg, burglary. This game is depressing. But nothing cheers you up more than cutscenes, cutscenes, and even more cutscenes. Just turn off the video already. Now if you ever encounter a level 2 Rattata, you know what to do. Call this guy. Right off the bat, I catch my first Pokemon, Gastly. I catch two actually, a male and a female, since I will need both for later. The game decided to make the gym trainers optional, but the Sprout Tower is required. What a bold move to make. He's laughing, you just can't see it. First gym battle. The Pidgey is not a problem, and I was able to kill it with one Ember in a lucky crit. I switch to Gastly as he goes for tackle and misses. Gust takes me to half health, but I managed to get it to sleep, then I switch back to Cyndaquil. That didn't really do much since it wakes up and started using Roost until I eventually get it burned. This is when Falkner stops using Roost and I take it out, leaving me at 1 HP. Dying wouldn't have been an issue since Gastly would have lived long enough for the burn to take it down. With the first badge, level 20 Pokemon can now obey us. Yay! To prevent us from depositing the egg as soon as we get it, the game decided to move the assistant to the Pokemart. But it's all good because cutscene. I get to catch my second Pokemon, Geodude. Hey, don't laugh. I catch two as well. This guy conveniently falls and hurts his back until we defeat Team Rocket, that is. Oh, look who can walk again. I felt terrible saying no to this girl. That's okay, little girl. Give me your boring grandpa's phone number. I will even add him on Facebook. Bugsy's next. Why did they make him start with Scyther? I have no idea. I start with Gastly and manage to put him to sleep as he goes for Leer. I then swap to Bugslayer and start lowering his accuracy with Smokescreen. This buys me enough time for my Cyndaquil and Geodude to take him down, but I was lucky and only Cyndaquil was enough as I get him burned. His Metapod only knows Tackle, and trying to take a Geodude with a Tackle, let's just say I know how it feels. His Kakuna only knows Poison Sting, so I bring Gastly and use Spite to make it run out of PP, so it's forced to use Struggle. I then bring out Geodude, and at this point, the Kakuna's killing itself. Seriously, it takes more damage than it does. With that, Bugsy's down. Now, in order to defeat the next rival, I have to be strategic and calculate every step I make ahead of time. So I throw my entire team and catch a Mareep, 6 of them, and make them reach level 10. First Mareep takes down Gastly as it uses Curse on the final turn. Croconaw dies with only 2 Mareeps because even though I don't outspeed him, he uses Scary Face twice on both of them. You would think the AI would improve in Gen 4. Zubat is weak to electric attacks, so at this point the fight is over. Next no more torturing the stupid bird. Fine, one last time. Wait, there's 2 of them now? Fine, one last time. They had no idea what to do with the kimono girls in this game, did they? Goldenrod City. First thing I do, cutscene. I give the daycare my number, and boy was that a mistake, because next is a breeding fest. That's not what it sounds like. I start by catching a Scyther, a female Scyther, from the bug contest. To quickly explain breeding without making it sound difficult, think of the game as a child who's only allowed 4 chocolate bars after dinner. Out of all the chocolates, you will first take anything with peanut butter or caramel that is not Snickers. But your little brother ate most of them, so you only found 1. So you look next for any ones with coconuts because you saw your dad eat one and because you're a weird child. This is used in any gen before Gen 5 to allow us to pass TMs since they can only be used once. Once again, you're all out of those. Thanks a lot, Dad. So you look for the famous brandy ones in order to look normal like the other kids. This I will be using a lot to basically make a level 10 Pokemon know what a level 50 Pokemon can learn. All out of options, you go for the expired ones since they're still chocolate. And let's admit it, we all did it at one point. And now I'm hungry. I go back to Route 31 and catch a male Ladybug. I level it up to level 22 where it learns Baton Pass. Then level up the Scyther to level 57 where it learns Agility, Double Team, and Sword Dance. Fornication time. I mean breeding. I need the breeded Scyther to be a male in order to breed it with the female Scyther that I caught earlier. Once the egg is ready, I'm right here. I use the same concept to get the moves for the rest of my Pokemon. Only the Geodude for now, but the rest will be soon. Once I'm done breeding, I take Quick Claw and give it to Gastly. With grown-up moves and not so grown-up Pokemon, we test our luck versus the next gym, Whitney. I start with Gastly and put her Clefairy to sleep as I go first. I then bring out Scyther and go for Swords Dance. Clefairy wakes up on my second Swords Dance and bitch slaps me. After 3 Sword Dances, I Baton Pass to Geodude and 1 Earthquake takes down her Clefairy. Miltank is next and it survives my Earthquake even though I get a crit, and I kill it after 2 more attacks since Whitney heals it. That cow was really annoying, and the Miltank was tough as well. I take Rock Smash in order to get Shill Bill and then give it to Geodude. This item heals you a little every time you do damage. When you say Bell, we're thinking the same thing, right? Oh, never mind. Next Pokemon is, you guessed it, this creep right here. Because 1, I need a Cuffing, and 2, they hold the item Smoke Ball, which guarantees that you escape from wild encounters. And dear God, do I need that. Watching your Pokemon fail to run from a Magikarp messes you up for good. I breed them to get a level 10 Coughing with the following moveset. I also breed my 2 Gastlys, and this is the new moveset. Rival Battle. I used Geodude to take down his Gastly. I would have preferred if he went for Curse instead of Confuse Ray, but I kill him anyways. Croconaw kills Geodude, and Coughing was able to survive Water Gun on 9 HP before using Destiny Bond, taking Croconaw down with it. Zubat is next, and I failed to set up Double Team with Scyther, but I was able to go first with Gastly thanks to Quick Claw, and managed to use Destiny Bond before it kills me with 1 bite. Only Magnemite is remaining. I choose to go for Cyndaquil to lower his accuracy with Smokescreen. As he goes for Leers and Supersonics, I then swap to my second Gastly, and he misses Thundershock a few times even after I use Destiny Bond. But he finally lands it and we both go down. 3 drunk legendaries later, we're ready to face the 4th gym. Whoa, they either never heard of electricity or I just walked into 1879. I don't need to tell you how annoying Morty is, so I really have to be strategic this time and actually plan every move. So once again, I throw my whole team, catch and breed a Stantler, 6 of them. Alright guys, I believe we can do this. Okay, maybe we can't do this. Not at first at least. But the fight is actually not as bad because he can only hit us with Sucker Punch, which has 5 PP and only hits if I go for an attacking move. I kill his Gastly with 2 Zen Headbutts as he goes for Spite and Mean Look. Hunter goes for Curse and I get it confused. After it attacks itself in confusion, 1 Zen Headbutt takes it down. Gengar is next. It misses Sucker Punch since I go for Confuse Ray. Second Ghostbuster manages to get it to sleep, and a few Zen Headbutts later, I take it down as it wakes up and attacks itself in confusion. Final Pokemon remaining, and I manage to get it confused and asleep before taking it down. It only hits me once with Sucker Punch. Basically, I don't go for an attack unless the Pokemon is asleep or confused. Stantler typing and the fact that it can learn Psychic and Ghost moves was helpful, but we got really lucky in this fight. In fact, the way I usually kill Gengar is by making it run out of Sucker Punch so that it can't hit me. It would have me on 1 HP and asleep and it still couldn't kill me. But I didn't even need to do that with how well the battle went for us. He gives us the badge, thank you, and here's a flashlight for the reasonable price of $8. This man does not take no for an answer. This is gonna take a while. We reach the lighthouse, and not only did they remove the only fun thing in this building, but they also stuck the poor thing in this donut-shaped cubicle. Boring ass elevator. Is someone gonna help him? Does this guy have no family? First they trap him, and then they torture him. Putting Primeape to sleep won't work since he has Vital Spirit ability, which prevents attacks like Hypnosis. but it usually starts with double team, so even a slow Pokemon can use Destiny Bond here. Next is Poliwrath, and he fails Hypnosis as I go for Destiny Bond. Next turn, he takes us both down. After defeating Chuck, we get rewarded with Fly, bribed with Strength, and... one way to find out. That's a normal side effect. Yep, she's dead alright. The Safari Zone is now open, and we get to add, and of course breed, a few more Pokemon. After throwing mud at innocent Pokemon for an hour, I was able to catch a female Mr. Mime, a female misdreavus, and I got a Drowsy back in Goldenrod that I'll be using to breed with Mr. Mime. Before I do that, I want the TM Trick Room. It's a TM that you get in this game, but later on after you defeat Blue, so all I did is load an old save file and trade it with myself. Again with an emulator and using the same ROM, this will only take a second. And trust me, if you have an old save file, you still have that TM. No one ever uses it. Look, it's a gift! From me to me. And yes, I used to call my character Ash. I'm not a creative person. I teach Trick Room to the male Gastly. Remember how I said you can use breeding to pass TM moves? Ta-da! Now I have two. I was also able to replace Destiny Bond with Pear's Song by breeding it with misdreavus. At Chicken Farm later, my breeding is done. I'm trying two different movesets for Gastly. And since I have more than one egg for each Pokemon, I can have two of the same Pokemon if I wanted to. One more thing, I didn't want to go over all the breedings because it could get boring for some people, especially that I will update the moveset a lot as I work on my strategy, but feel free to ask me how I got any of the moves in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Ever challenged a young kid with 6 even younger Pokemon? I'm about to Chuck E. Cheese your behind. To show you how the current movesets work, I start with Gastly and reset until I go first with Hypnosis into Pear's Song, followed by Mean Look and finally Trick Room. I usually keep Mean Look last because I don't mind the Pokemon switching as long as I get Trick Room up. I then switch Gastly, but Magnemite wakes up and kills my first misdreavus before it goes down. With Trick Room up, my Pokemon go first, so Coughing takes down Magnemite, and my second misdreavus takes down her Steelix. Our first encounter with Lance. Hey, I see you having outgrown the Batman outfit phase, huh? That's okay, my cousin has the same issue, except he's 12. As our usual reminder that life is cruel and unfair, I take the experience share. After some scare tactics and intense eye contact, we find the hideout. Lance agrees to split out as I take them all by myself and he does nothing. One scared grown up later. We get it already! What was the password again? Oh, come on, I just memorized the old gym puzzle. I'm not a smart person. We reach Bryce, the cool, chilled, and useless ice gym leader. You think your suffering scares me, old man? They call me the babysitter. That sounded scarier in my head. The problem with Bryce is that his Dewgong has the priority move, Ice Shard, so he always goes first even if I have Trick Room up. That's why it can only attack me if I have Substitute. After getting sealed to sleep and using Trick Room, I swap to misdreavus and take him down with Destiny Bond. Piloswine is next, and I managed to get it to sleep with Gastly and use Pear's Song. Then I had to use Trick Room again, so after that turn, he switches out to his Dewgong. I decided to sacrifice my Gastly and put his Dewgong to sleep, since this is the only time I can attack before his Dewgong. Dewgong uses Sleep Talk, I bring Mr. Mime, unlock it with Encore. Turns out this causes a bug in the game and makes Sleep Talk fail. I only meant it so it would fail when he wakes up, but hey, I'm not complaining. With Dewgong locked on a failing Sleep Talk and Substitute is up, I baton pass to misdreavus and manage to get Mean Look and Pear's Song. Both of us go down. I then switch to Coughing since his Piloswine is asleep. Unfortunately for me, he wakes up, but unfortunately for him, he misses Blizzard. So after Destiny Bond, he goes down. Second Team Rocket event, Surrender Fools. I have level 10 Pokemon in my possession. Thankfully, we can avoid most of them in here. Rival Battle. I updated my Gastly's movesets and I now depend on Curse instead of Pear's Song for the Gastlys. Learning to play around Trick Room is important, so after a few battles, I started getting better at it. I put his Golbat to sleep, get it confused, and by the time I use Trick Room, it wakes up, so I put it to sleep again, before switching to Mr. Mime. With Mr. Mime, I use Substitute and then Baton Pass back to the Gastly. I put the Golbat back to sleep and reset Trick Room, and a few turns later, it dies to Curse's damage and only manages to break my sub. Sneasel is next, and with Trick Room up, I repeat the same thing, put it to sleep, and get it confused. This time, when I swap to Mr. Mime however, I use Encore to get it locked on Quick Attack as it breaks my sub. Since Quick Attack doesn't affect Gastly, I swap back and I can now take it down as I use Curse and make sure I get Trick Room up again. Hunter is next, I Suicide with Curse, and with 3 Pokemon left for him and Trick Room up for 3 more turns, the rest was easy. Few elevators later. Remember when we used to run as a kid? After defeating Team Rocket, I take the item Bright Powder, which reduces the opponent's accuracy, so it can come in handy. Man, everything really is challenging in this challenge. Money, battling, walking, eye contact. No! Next is Claire. She's still annoying and still claims to be the world's best dragon type master. Time to prove how wrong she is. She starts with Gyarados as I get it to sleep, confused, and then cursed. A few turns later, it goes down as I make sure I time Trick Room correctly. After my Gastly dies, just like the last fight, with 3 more Pokemon remaining and 3 turns left on Trick Room, the rest was easy. And with that, Claire is defeated. Once again, we go to a creepy house with 3 old dudes to be judged. At least he tells you about a legendary Pokemon this time. A change probably made so that you don't end up finishing the game 3 times and have no idea they existed. I never did that. But things change here. Not only can they make a 1-minute section last for an hour, but apparently they worship them or something. That's not what I thought this was. Alright, enough of this nonsense. I got a challenge to finish here. Rival battle. The problem with this fight is that I had to take him down with 5 Pokemon only, since my 6th Pokemon is a useless legendary that I can't use. Lugia is the only one that can learn the HM Strength and Fly. However, I learned a lot from this fight and I changed my moveset right after I defeat him. He starts with Sneasel, I managed to get the usual setup and use Curse. It takes me down however when it wakes up, so I switch to Mr. Mime, get it to sleep again, and use Substitute as it dies to Curse. Hunter is next, and I get it to sleep right before Trick Room ends. I then baton pass to my second Gastly while the Hunter is asleep. His Hunter wakes up and breaks my sub, but not before I get Trick Room up again, so I was able to confuse it and put it back to sleep once more. It remains asleep all the way until it dies to the curse, and I managed to reset Trick Room before it goes down. His Kadabra is next, and it dies the same way due to the curse. Feraligatr is up, and I managed to get it confused with Gastly before switching out to misdreavus. I then use Destiny Bond and take him down. Golbat is next, I put it to sleep, get it confused, and more importantly, use Trick Room before using Curse. With Mr. Mime, I use Substitute as Golbat wakes up the next turn and attacks itself. I put it to sleep again before it goes down to the last curse damage. I baton pass to misdreavus. Even though Trick Room ended with Substitute up however, I was able to take down his Magneton with Destiny Bond. Hey, the Poké Center is this way. Well, I can't worry about him now, I have my own problems. 26 of them to be exact. A whole lot of breeding later, my misdreavus now know Attract, and 2 of them know Trick Room. I also replaced Coughing with a 3rd misdreavus, as you will see why later. Excuse me sir, I'm here to challenge the Elite Four. Since this is the last time I'll be changing my movesets, let me go over how this plan works one last time. The first 2 Pokemon I put to sleep and get them confused while waiting for Curse to take them down. I can take up to 2 Pokemon down with just 1 Gastly if everything goes well for me. Once I make sure there are 3 or more turns on Trick Room, with my 3 misdreavus, I take down the last 3 Pokemon. The only exception to that is if the opponent has a priority move. In the Elite Four, there happens to be 5 Pokemon with priority moves, 3 Quick Attacks, 1 Sucker Punch, and 1 Bullet Punch. Quick Attack is a normal move, so my Ghost Pokemon are immune to it. That is why I switched out the Coughing. Sucker Punch I can control by simply using Hypnosis or Confuse Ray first, because that will cause it to fail. Bullet Punch is the issue here, and I have to make sure I use Substitute to take the hit for me. It also gets easier if he's the second Pokemon sent out. Koga's next, and this time I lead with misdreavus, since I can't put his Ariados to sleep. I aim to go first in order to use Confuse Ray, followed by Attract instead of Hypnosis. With Trick Room up, I use Destiny Bond to take Ariados down. Muck is next, I put it to sleep on my second attempt, get it confused, and reset Trick Room. Several turns later, it dies to Curse. Third Pokemon is Venomoth, but because I used one of my Destiny Bond users already, I had to take 1 more Pokemon with my 2 Gastlys and Mr. Mime. The reason I always live on 1 HP after using second curse is because curse takes half your HP rounded down, and since I have odd health, I'm able to live on 1 HP. I had a mini heart attack when Fortress didn't attack me the first time, but then I remembered that he can't attack me at all since all his moves are normal types, so I take him down with curse instead. Bruno's Hitmonchan has a priority move Bullet Punch. This however was solvable thanks to his Hitmontop, since he can't attack my ghost Pokemon and just goes for Dig. So I do something different here. I start with Mr. Mime, the only Pokemon he can hit, but is the only one I have with Substitute. I give it Bright Powder however, and instead of resetting to go first, I just reset until he misses. With Bright Powder, his quick attack now has 90% accuracy, so after several tries, it misses. I put it to sleep, get a Substitute, and Baton Pass to Gastly. I now guarantee the sub will never break before his next Pokemon Hitmonchan. Bulletproof AI, not once did he switch out against my ghost Pokemon. Trick Room doesn't fail if you use it while it's already up, it actually restores the turn order back. So one trick that I would sometimes use while waiting for the Pokemon to die to curse is disable Trick Room myself and then use it again to make the number of turns align the way I want them. Other than that, I would just go for Hypnosis and Confuse Ray again, even if the Pokemon is already asleep or confused. I go for Curse against the Onix and make sure I don't confuse him or put him to sleep, since I want to die in exactly 1 turn in order to finish the fight in the next 3 turns. With that, Bruno's down. Karen starts with Embryon, I take it down the same way. Her priority move user is Murkrow. All my moves are non-attacking moves, so we're safe from her Sucker Punch. With my second Gastly, I managed to take her down. I let the Houndoom kill me, and with 3 turns on Trick Room and no priority moves to worry about, the fight is as good as over. Whoa, fancy. Is that real gold? Alright, relax. I'm only 40 levels behind. Okay, that did not help. Lance doesn't have a Pokemon with priority move, but he has 6 Pokemon instead of 5. This is an added challenge, since now I have to take down 3 of his Pokemon with my 2 Gastlys and Mr. Mime before winning the fight. After he heals his Gyarados, and after we take it down, he goes for Aerodactyl. I take his Aerodactyl down, followed by Charizard. Here is one of the cases where I restore Trick Room and then enable it again to make sure I have enough turns for his last 3 Dragonites. We defeat Lance. Don't worry, it will be our secret. After we take him down, we disgrace the history of the Hall of Fame by adding my Pokemon to the list. This has got to be the worst team that ever walked this place, and I'm not sorry. With that out of the way, we have 2 fights remaining. Blue starts with Executor. I follow the same approach, and since Blue always heals his Executor, I take the chance to get a Substitute before switching back to my second Gastly. I didn't switch back to my first Gastly since I still have 2 more Pokemon to take down, and if I use Curse a 3rd time, it will die and my sub might be wasted. Machamp wakes up on the last Curse turn, but luckily doesn't break my sub. Pidgeot manages to break my sub and eventually kills me, but I was able to use Trick Room the turn before, and that is all I needed. With 3 Pokemon remaining, and the only priority move being a normal type, which is Extreme Speed, the battle is over for him. Alright, final battle. Anytime now. Bad news is that I need someone that can learn Rock Climb, so I had to get rid of my substitute user, Mr. Mime, and replaced him with a level 1 Geodude that I breeded and never used. I figured if we're going to take down Red with level 10, we might as well go for the maximum disrespect. Alright guys, we made it this far. Some of you were really useful, some not so much. I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm talking to you, Geodude. Our opponent is not easy. This battle will be tough, and some of you might die. And that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I should give more pep talks. Come at me, bro. Pikachu's first, and I managed to get my setup going as I put him to sleep and get him confused. Oh, I'm worried about Hail. It deals 1 damage. We might have hope after all. Pikachu wakes up and hits itself in confusion. Watch this damage. It actually kills itself the next turn. Lapras takes my first Gastly down, but not before I manage to use Curse, and I still have Trick Room up, so the battle is not over yet. I go for misdreavus, and using Attract and Confuse Ray, I buy enough time as it goes down to Curse. He brings Blastoise next, and with 2 turns left on Trick Room, I decided to go for Destiny Bond, taking it down with me. His level 83 Snorlax is next. You got any of those weak level 70 Pokemon? I could use one right now. I managed to get it to sleep and confused with Gastly, Charizard is next. Since I still go first for one more turn, I managed to get it to sleep. I then go for Trick Room, Suicide with Curse, and the rest was easy. I go for Destiny Bond just as it wakes up and kills us both. Only Venusaur is remaining, and he goes down with one final Destiny Bond. With my level 1 Geodude alive, I'm declared the winner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had fun doing this challenge. It felt really good when you finally get to those last 3 turns in a battle. I can try the challenge for other gens if you would like to see more of them. As always, your comments and feedback are always appreciated, and see you guys next time.